Hey you guys, welcome to my bathroom. The lighting in here sucks, so hopefully I have things set up as best I can. I have a pretty small bathroom, so I can't put external lights in here, unfortunately. And right now my tripod is an upside down trash can with a shoebox on top with a mini tripod on top of that. I have to have this mirror here. I have to be able to see the back of my head. So as promised, I want to make a video for you guys on how I bleach my roots and how I dye my hair because I'm sick of the blonde. I'm sick of my hair looking yellow constantly. So you can see I have my very attractive bleaching my hair tank top on and my hair is greasy. It has been about 4 days since I've washed it. I like leaving my hair very, very, very oily before I bleach it because it helps protect my hair. If you don't have the time to wait, if your hair doesn't get that oily, etc., you can also use coconut oil. Seriously, slather your head in coconut oil and then comb it and let it sit for a while and then bleach it right on top of the coconut oil. It doesn't stop the bleaching process. It just helps protect your hair. Let me make a disclaimer in case anyone is confused. It has been a very, very long time since I've done a hair dyeing video. My last one, I was still using box dye and dyeing my hair like a different shade of brown or something. I can't even remember. Maybe it was like a reddish shade. I can't remember. But I am not a professional. I've never been trained how to do hair. I am not certified in this. I have never trained with anyone. This is just what I do and how I do my own hair. This is what works for my hair. This is what I've been doing since I started bleaching it and dyeing it on my own. I am not a professional. This is not a how-to. This is more of a how I do it. If you follow this like it's a tutorial and you end up completely screwing up your hair, and you end up with a chemical cut, which is when half your hair falls off because you didn't do it correctly, or because it was over bleached, or you used the wrong strength of products, that's on you. Disclaimer out of the way. Right now I am just putting my hair up into 4 quadrants. This is what I'm doing. I'm basically dividing it front to back in the middle, and then down like crown to ear. Again, everyone does theirs differently. This is just how I tend to part mine. I try and keep the sections really tangle-free while I'm working with them. Let me show you what I have. First up, I have a scale because I like to measure the parts of my bleach using a scale because I find A, that it's fairly accurate, and B, that I haven't fried my hair off doing it, so it may not be the correct way to do it, but it's the way I do it. I also have a bowl, plastic. You don't want any metal because it reacts with bleach and causes muy problems. I have a dyeing brush thingy. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But anyway, has a brush and a little pick for parting. I have gloves. Very important. Do not bleach your hair without gloves, please. Very bad idea. I have clips, of course, and hair ties. Extra clips. And then I have my bleach and my developer. This is just what I use. I've tried different developers. Haven't played around with bleaches a whole lot. I might try a powder bleach next time, but I actually really like this one. I don't think it's too damaging. This is the Ion Color Brilliance Bright White Cream Lightener. It can do up to 8 levels of lift, and it has keratin built into it, so it's pretty gentle on my hair. And then for developer, I've been using the Ion Sensitive Scalp 20 Volume Developer. Because I take so long to do my hair, putting anything like a 30 on my natural hair would not be good, so I stick with a 20 volume. It's very gentle for my roots. My natural hair is probably about maybe a level 6, level 6, level 7. It's not very dark at all. It's very thin. It's very fine. My hair bleaches easily. If you have hair that's much darker or much thicker than that, I would probably recommend going to a salon or consulting with a hairdresser before trying to do it yourself, because a lot of times you'll have to do multiple processes. I only have to bleach once for my roots, which is really, really nice. Also, make sure that you have shampoo ready, because most people don't know that after you bleach, you can't just rinse it out. It won't stop the process. You have to shampoo your hair after you bleach. So, I also want to mention that I do not use a toner after I bleach, because I either tone with Arctic Fox if I'm staying blonde, or I go in and fully dye my head with Arctic Fox colors. And if I put a toner on between that, it will prevent the Arctic Fox from sinking in my hair the way it should. So we're going to go and get started. I'm sorry if this is not the best camera angle. It's the best I can do. Gloves. Always have something that you can keep an eye on the time with, because you don't want to leave bleach in your hair too long. I don't go by a specific time with mine. I just go by how it looks. I just check it. But you don't want to like ever go over 45, 50 minutes at the most with bleach in your hair. And a lot of people start even at that point having major breakage. But again, I work slow, so I just keep an eye on the time. And I just go by off of how it looks. So I'm going to mix my bleach up. I take my bleach bowl. I stick it on my scale. I turn my scale on. And I tare it out, T-A-R-E, which means I mark it so that there's 0 weight on the scale, if that makes sense. It's like if you're measuring portions and you put a bowl on the scale, you have to take away the weight of the bowl, basically. Today we're going to do 2 ounces of the bright white. That's the lightener. That's the actual bleach. That is a lovely sound. Good job, bleach. I always like mixing up more than you think you will need, because I tend to make way less than I will actually need, and I'm always having to mix up product halfway through, so I'm trying to avoid that. And I like to do a 2-to-1 ratio, so I do 2 parts developer to 1 part bleach. So right now I have 2 ounces of bleach in here, so I'm going to add 4 ounces of developer for 6 ounces total. See, you guys, you are totally not wasting time at school learning math. You will need it someday. Even if you have nothing to do with math in your job, if you ever want to dye your hair on your own, you will still need math. This is what it looks like. And we're going to mix it up. The other thing I was going to say, you also need paper towels. Make sure you have them close by for cleanups, for having under your bowl when you're mixing your bleach, because unless you are somehow lucky and manage to have a salon in your house, you are most likely going to be doing this in your bathroom. This bleach, it's kind of funky. It looks clumpy, and you can't entirely get all the clumps out of it, even with mixing it thoroughly. So you just have to do the best you can. Mixy, mixy, mixy. The other thing I like is that this bleach doesn't smell too bad. It's not as bad as others that I've smelled in the past. Okay, it's fairly well mixed. It's still slightly chunky. I want to get a mini whisk for mixing up my bleach. Like I need a mini like silicone whisk just to make it easier so it doesn't take hours. But this is basically what it looks like when I'm done, and it's kind of like runny tapioca pudding. So what I'm going to do is start with one section. Make sure I can see. I can't see the back there. Can I see the back in this mirror? Yes, I can. Hold on, I'm gonna angle this mirror because I need to be able to see better. You can see my roots got longer than I would like for them to. They're probably about half an inch now, which is pushing it on having to deal with banding issues, which is lighter and darker sections of your hair. So what I'm going to do is start by taking this first clip out. Okay. And then I'm just going to pull all this hair forward. And I'm going to go along these lines. Here, 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 and here. Along all the part lines. To make sure that I have those saturated with bleach first. I'm trying my best not to overlap. Even though when you're doing it by yourself, it's very difficult not to overlap. And yes, even though I've been doing this for like, a solid year now, this still makes me nervous. If I disappear, it's because I have to look in my other mirror. And I also have to do a lot of this by feel, which is not the best scenario. It's definitely better if you can have someone help you. But again, I'm doing this all by me onesies. So make sure you get sideburns in the areas closest to your face because you can really miss those little baby hairs there. And it looks like you kind of have a weird dark halo around your face. That cannot be fun if you mess up. Well, not if you mess up, but if you miss those spots. And I'm just trying my best not to overlap too much onto the already bleached areas while still working quickly. Now that I have that initial bleach on there, which oddly looks a little thin, like it looks thinner than it normally does, but sometimes it just does that. It's weird. But I make sure I have that part line really well done. And then I go in and I make probably like a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch part in my hair. 1/2 inch is a bit too much. I tend to be more conservative with the parting on the front of my hair where it's more obvious. And then I go and I paint the back side of that piece of the roots. And then we're just going to move on to the other side. As you can see, I'm trying to work very quickly while still being thorough. Also, if you wear glasses like I do, make sure to put in a pair of contacts while you're bleaching your hair because you will ruin your glasses frames if you try and bleach your hair with them on. I've never done that. It's just a common sense thing, but not everyone thinks of that. So I just wanted to mention it. So I'm just going through, making sure everything gets covered. Now keep in mind when I'm doing this is not like I just had a whim and picked up bleach one day and started doing this to my hair. I have been either dyeing my hair or having it dyed by someone at home since I was like 13 years old. So I have a lot of experience with this. As far as what I know my hair can handle, what it can't handle, the basics, things like that. If you've never dyed your hair before or never had it bleached before, I highly recommend have someone else do it. However, I know that with where we're at in the country right now, that's not exactly possible since pretty much all salons are close to being shut down. I don't think they've shut them down yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens soon. And I kept seeing things on Instagram like, oh, how we're all gonna look when this is over. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna have fresh pink hair most likely. So if you're comfortable with dyeing and bleaching your own hair and you're willing to take the risk that might not turn out, you can always order stuff online and give it a shot. Just keep in mind, if you go bald, not my fault. Okay, so you can see where my hair is starting to lighten just a little bit already. I'm actually proud of myself. I'm working faster than I usually do. I'm going to smooth this area out. My hairbrush is like really old, so I don't mind getting like bleach spots and stuff on it. I really want to try a powder bleach and see if it ends up smoother because this bleach is just so chunky. I mean, it still works. It works fine, but it's just so chunky. Make sure if you have like even a couple little widow's peak baby hairs that you get those. The biggest thing is like make sure you get your baby hairs because if you don't, you're gonna have this weird dark baby hair halo. And I had that the last time I bleached or the time before last. It was not cute. Nobody wants a baby hair halo. Like it looked like I had ash gray bronzer around my face for like 4 weeks until I bleached it again. So I'm going to pull all my hair up this way, still keeping this section separated. Come back here right behind my ear. And this is actually the easier part. Doing your front of your head's actually easier than the back. The back takes a little bit longer. But again, that's part of the reason why we use such a low developer. And we either let our hair get super duper greasy or use coconut oil is to help protect it. Okay, so we're gonna... That is a fabulous look. Should this be the thumbnail? Like... That should totally be the thumbnail. Alright, so I'm just brushing that hair out a bit so it's not tangly. And I'm going back in, making sure I get that top section really well done. And we're going to part and separate. I try and make the parts clean, but once your hair starts getting wetter from the bleach, it gets harder to do because it all kind of wants to stick together. See me now, why don't you hear me out? Can't you see what we're about? So I know it's kind of weird to be totally like bleaching my hair, and it feels kind of superficial to be doing a video about bleaching my hair during a national disaster. And if you're watching this like decades from now, technically a pandemic, there is so much going on and it's so stressful that I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely going to talk about this here and there, but at the same time, we all just need a little bit of levity and stupidity and fun. And if me looking really weird trying to bleach my hair cheers you guys up or distracts you for 5 minutes in any way, then I feel like I have helped just a teensy tiny bit. Alright, next layer. I'm starting to get a bleach headache, so I think I need to open the window in a minute. Like, my dream is to have a bathroom with a window in it. I know that is totally weird. Like, of all the dreams you could have, wait, a bathroom with the window open, or a window in it? Yeah, I want a bathroom with a window in it, so that when I do my hair, I can have the window open. Alright, the front part of my hair is done. I'm just going to check and make sure. It looks like I got everything really well. Here you can see, look how light that is already. My hair processes really fast. So I'm just going to pin up that whole front part of my hair in the most attractive top knot ever. And we're going to check using a couple different mirrors and make sure I got all those roots towards the back done. Alright, so we're going to start on the back sections. You really can't see that. I have no good way of showing it to you. So I'm going to stop recording just so I'm not like running out of battery by the time I get to the end. I'm going to do the back and I'll show you how it's processing. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, guys, I have my whole head bleached now. So here's the front. Here is the back. Takes me about 30 minutes to bleach my whole head, which is frustrating because I know the front definitely starts to get over-processed. I could mix up 2 different levels. Like I could mix a level 20 for the back, front and level 30 for the back, but that's okay because I usually like the front of my hair a little bit lighter, so it's not a huge deal to me. So I just finished this section, as you can see it. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that section in particular. A, make sure front doesn't get over-processed. B, make sure this doesn't get under-processed. And just keep an eye on it, and then when it looks good, once it's lightened, like the front is pretty much where I like it at this point. So is the back on this side, so I'm assuming I'll probably only take about 10 to 15 to get this back part on this side where I want it. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, probably no more than 15-20 minutes tops. And then I'm going to rinse this out of my hair, shampoo my hair, and then go ahead and dry it, and I will show you guys where we're at. Hey guys, I am back. Here is what my hair looks like. This is what the roots look like. They're just about the perfect shade matching with the rest of my hair. You can see I even didn't go quite far enough at the temples again, so it's a little bit darker there, but not much. And here's the back. Yes, the back of my head is always this red. That's normal for me. So right now I'm watching a live feed of all the things we're closing in Ohio, and they just ordered all tattoo parlors, barbershops, salons, nail things, like beauty anything is shut down as of now. So today's the 18th. So when I mentioned that things have been changing literally by the hour, it is quite literally by the hour, because when I started bleaching my hair, everything was still allowed to be open. So that's how quick things are changing. My hair right now has no conditioner in it. If you are going to give it a few days and then tone your hair, or you're going to give it a few days and then dye your hair, condition immediately after bleaching. If you are doing a temporary fashion color, like Manic Panic, Punky Colors, Arctic Fox, which is what I use, do not put conditioner in your hair after bleaching. You need clean, dry hair with nothing in it. No heat protectants, nothing. That means please be very careful, especially if you've just bleached the ends, detangling your hair after you dry it, because you need completely dry, detangled hair. And yes, my hair looks very, very yellow up top. That is fine. That is no big deal, because it's very, very lifted right now. It should take this color just fine. I do have some slight like spots of banding still, but it's less and less noticeable. It may be obvious when I put this color on. You never know.